Welcome to ComeonyespursTV. Today we are reviewing the match between Fulham and Tottenham at the Craven Cottage, where we came away 1-0 winners against Fulham after a spate of disastrous results, if you like, over the last few games. So yes, back to winning ways. Edge to the way to Fulham. With me to review this game is Ben, and he will be with us very, very shortly. In the meantime, come on, you Spurs. Welcome back. This is Come On You Spurs TV. If this is your first time here, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment, like this episode, and click on the bell button to get notified the next time we go live or release a video. With me today, I've got Ben. We are reviewing the match between Tottenham and Fulham away at Craven Cottage. Tottenham won the reverse fixture at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium earlier in the year, or well, last year actually, but earlier in the season. Came away 2-1 winners. I remember that we scored a couple of goals, seemed comfortable, and then Mitrovic scored, pulled one back towards the end, and it was quickly bomb time towards the end. But today's game felt different. Ben, tell me, what did you think?
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. It did feel different. The whole, well, not say the whole. Well, I think it's not long. We've had this. We've been in the 20s in points wise for such a long time. We lost so many games. We lost so many points. So it seemed like an age ago. But we've lost a lot. The team has lost a lot of confidence. Has lost a lot of games. Has shipped so many goals. An unbelievable thing for a Conte team. But it did feel totally different today. I think off the back of two crushing defeats against Arsenal and Man City, I think this is a match where the players had to prove something. They had to prove that against a very tricky Fulham side, and off the back of two defeats, we were going to keep a clean sheet, tick, and we're going to win, tick.
Yeah.
So all in all, I think all in all, even though some people might look at it and say, "Oh, why do we have to hold on to a 1-0 lead? We shouldn't be doing that kind of thing." I mean, that's why they pay Conte the big bucks.
I know, right? Let me just say this to those who may be joining us away from here. If you need to leave a comments, please leave a comment. You show your comments on the screen, and yes, please follow the conversation here on Come On You Spurs TV. You're live, and yeah, Omonikai, thank you. Yes, Come On You Spurs, thank you for joining us. Please, you're welcome. Your comments are most welcome, and join in the conversation. Now, for me today was a little bit mixed because there's so much negativity going on in the Spurs world now. I mean, I was saying someone off air before we came on that if you came in from outer space today, right, and someone said to you, go and have a look at the Premier League table, right, and listen to what's going on in the chat rooms, and come and tell us what the reality is, what would people say? Because on the one hand, I'm going to come back to you in a minute. On the one hand, here we are, we're lying fifth on the table, right? Granted, we've lost 9 matches so far in the season. That's a lot of losses, right? We've considered a lot of goals as well. I think we've considered more goals this season than any other season so far at this point, even throughout the season, you know. But somehow or another, we just about managed to maintain pace with those in and around us and ahead of us. Okay, maybe Arsenal, maybe it seemed a little bit too far away, but we're only halfway through the season. Anything can happen. I mean, anything could happen. We all started with zero, and look where we are now. So yeah, so there's that. You're going to say something? Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I didn't realize your outer space thing. I was going to make a joke and say, well, if I came from outer space, I wouldn't want to look at football. But 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 that's another thing. But no, I hear what you're saying about what someone from outer space would have said. Basically, you're saying someone who knew nothing about the league, who knew nothing about what happened so far, and just came in and especially looking at what we say, what happens in our forum, it's beyond belief. Sometimes I think those guys actually come from outer space.
I know, right?
Comments.
So
The comments are out. Basically, the comments are out of this world.
I mean, some of the comments just beg up belief, if you like. So I'm thinking to myself, so where are we? I mean, as a team, we're here today, and we're like fifth in the league. We've won what? We lost the last. I think we lost four of the last 6 matches, if you like. You know, 5 of the last 5 matches, and it hasn't been comfortable viewing for us as Spurs fans in the last God knows how many matches. And today, even though we had not a great start, you know, but we did find a way to nullify Fulham. Played a bit on the back foot, if you like, and but we still managed to sort of create something out of nothing towards the end of the first half. What did you think?
Yeah, I actually I totally agree with you. I mean, one of the chief gripes from people is that we play fossil football, but this fossil football that Conte is trying to make our team play, is what he used with Chelsea, and they won the league. And I think Chelsea won't want to give back that cup. And is what Milan used to win the league as well. So it's his brand of football. It wins things. I don't see why he should change the way he plays his football. And it's a case of getting our players to play that football. I heard so many commentators saying, "Oh, he just doesn't have the team. He doesn't have the team to play his way." Well, we knew that. We knew that if we had the players to play his style, we would have been winning things ages ago. We don't have the players. Those players are going to come in one by one, probably not one by one, but in tranches. But this window that's open is going to be shut in a few days' time is one of the windows, and the summer is another one. So it takes time. You bring the players in. They don't necessarily start playing your style of football immediately, but it's a process. As someone famously said, it's a process that eventually we'll be singing and dancing, singing the praises of Conte, and happy that our team is now playing. I'm happy with what happened today. I got to say that is a step forward. I wasn't sure whether we were going to win or not, but I was happy with the way we played, the way we kept the ball, the way, like in the beginning of the season, we used to be hard to beat. I don't know whether you remember that. We used to be hard. Commentators used to say, "Oh, look at they're really disciplined. Tottenham's really disciplined," and somehow they lost it. They lost it sometime before the World Cup, and they hadn't got it back. And people
Yeah,
were
I mean,
screaming.
it's amazing that you say that. I mean, Trueborn African on the chat says we needed 3 points, and that's what matters. Presently, please, um, please selling that kind of football as long as we're winning, because there will be big decisions in the summer. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, like as ever, everyone has their point of view. Whether there be big decisions in the summer, it's probably a guess. But we know that we're going to have. We know we have Conte to deal with. We have Kane to deal with. So it's a good guess. There's going to be there's going to be big decisions. But I agree with him. 3 points is what matters in the end. That's all that matters at the moment. Whether we play well or we don't play well, as long as we get the 3 points, I'm pleased.
Trueborn
Remember,
that's not
the beginning
complete
of the
female,
season,
you know.
in the beginning of the season, they didn't like the wins we were getting. They were like, no, we shouldn't be winning this way. Then we started losing. They're not happy again. So what do they want?
Right, this is life of football, of a football fan, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
Now, I
Well,
mean,
for fanatics. So
it's difficult to argue against. I mean, 3 points that matters. I mean, like Omonikai, another of the comments also mentioned, which I'm going to add to the broadcast in a second. It says this was a great win. We needed to steady ship. A poor season compared to our previous season, but hey, fingers crossed. Looking forward to a stronger second half of the season. You know, it's funny you say that, you know, because if you compare where we were last season compared to now, we're actually better off in terms of points, or number of points that we had at this stage of last season compared to now. So it's not entirely right to say that we have a poorer season compared to last season. Now, towards the end of the second half of last season, we had, I think, out of 27 points, we scored 26. We had 26 points. You know, it was like 8 wins and a draw. You know, towards the end of last season. So that was quite a great run for us towards the end of last season. However, this season we started very well. I mean, the first 10 games we had 23 points. You know, we were doing really well, and then we came to this second patch of whereby on a 10-game run we lost, I think, 5 of those games. You know, if not 6 of those games. We lost 6 of those games, if you like, and that has been the story of our season so far. So for me, I mean, is it a managerial issue? Is it a player issue? Is it a how am I going to put this? Is it a team or institutional issue in terms of the structure? Because if you think about it, right, there's no way that we were going to have a season where I mean, this is the only point in the season where you can have a change. Anyway, this is like the transfer window we have in January, right? But even before we went away at to the World Cup, I think we had quite a few bad results against Liverpool. We lost to Liverpool. We lost to Villa. We almost lost. Sorry, we lost to Newcastle. And then we almost lost. Leeds. Came back and won 4-3. I mean, came back from 2 goals, and we seem to be having that a bit of luck whereby, well, I won't call it luck, or situations whereby we went into matches with very good best laid plans, if you like. First half, teams just seem to overrun us, and second half we come back and we win games. That was the narrative towards the end of the period before the World Cup. And we thought, okay, things might change and come back. Came back, and I think overall, I think we had this space of howlers, if you like, from the defenders, from Lloris, and you know, which brings me to today's lineup. A lot of people, I mean, okay, it had a named and unchanged side. From the City match, and given what happened in that match and the previous match, a lot of people expected him to make quite a few changes, and the changes that people pointed out were like, okay, Lloris, give me a rest, you know, given the fact that he's made quite a few highlights and cost us a few points over time. Mr. Son, give him a rest because he hasn't really sparkled all season. Were you surprised with the lineup?
This is Conte we're talking about. This is Conte. I think I mentioned this in the forum because people have been clamoring. Even commentators outside have been clamoring. He should change things. He should change things. But they didn't. When they went to get Conte, they didn't say to Conte, "Come, we have some players here, and we know you always win with your style. But you know, forget that. Come here and bend to these quizzling players we have. Just bend and play to their strengths." He's not. He did. That's obviously not what happened. They actually said to him, "You got a record. We love your style of play. He's going to win us something. Come and join us." Because otherwise, he's going to go for someone like Pochettino, when I say someone like him, someone who is young and could spend time to mold them. But they didn't. They went for Conte because of what? Because of his style of play, because of his winning mentality. That's why they went for him. So they went for him and brought him in and wanted the players to adapt to his play. But I think the problem is this: those players are not it's not easy to play Conte kind of football. I mean, he said that. If we look back into the past, all his teams have struggled in Europe. He's never been successful in Europe because when you play in Europe and you play in the league, it becomes a problem because his style of football is very, very demanding. So that's in the history books. We know, we go back and we fight. We see what he's done. I worry for us in Champions League now because we see what we're playing in the cup and we're playing every week. It's a bit difficult. So when we go back to Champions League, that's next month, things could get a bit dicey. Because remember, last season, that charge we made at the end towards the fourth place was because we had no other football apart from the league. No other football. So we just played him once a week. We kept on playing and we were grinding out results. And everybody was clapping. They were saying that Conte is a god, you know? But now they're like, Conte out. Let's get some of them even want Poch to come back. They forget what happened. They forget what happened to the team under Poch.
Yeah.
And you know.
Yeah, thanks so much for that. Keep your comments coming in. Come on, ECAMM. If you're watching us from home, if you haven't subscribe to our channel. If you haven't liked it, like this episode and leave your comments and keep your comments coming in. Trueborn African says he agrees. Amonkai says he agrees with Trueborn African's comments in regard to the 3 points being crucial for us. Because according to him, look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how well you play. The key is getting the points on the board, you know. And I think today's match proved that we didn't play too pretty. We just played effective football, kept them at bay, be clinical at the key moments, you know, and come away with the win. Now, I mean, for me, probably the critical point in the match was Kane's goal. I mean, Mr. Harry Kane. I mean, what can you say about that gentleman? Please, I mean, I need you to please big him up. You know, just go wild. You know,
no.
199 goals, 266 goals for Tottenham. I mean, come on, in a team like Tottenham. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not saying we're bad, but come on, you have to hand it to that young man. He's absolutely phenomenal. I'm pretty sure if he wasn't English, he would have been like, wow, you know? Anyway, right, please tell me.
No, listen, I could spend a whole week bigging him up. He's world class. I remember people used to, rival fans used to say he's not world class, he's not world class, he hasn't done this, hasn't done that. But we know he's world class. There's no one like Harry Kane. And we know that all those other fans out there would love him to be in their team. But guess what? He ain't going anywhere. He's one of our own, as they say. He's one of our own. He hasn't going anywhere. And I'm so pleased with him, the way he's got his 266 now. And then next match against City, probably he's going to get his 267 and beat the record. And he's going to sign a new He's going to sign a new. I'm sure he's going to sign a new contract. He will want to stay and play out.
That's from Mr. Kane.
Exactly.
He deserves it and more. You know, it's phenomenal. Now, okay, so AF says contest stands in not wanting to sign a contract. It's a distraction. Clearly, he doesn't trust Levy to deliver. Levy, on the other hand, won't give him money unless he commits long term. Now, okay,
that's media talk. I've seen that talk all over the media, and the guy just, well, all due respect, but my feeling is that he's just parroting what the media is saying. I have a perfect response for that, but let's go on. That's his opinion anyway. So he's entitled to his opinion. No one knows for sure, but we do know some of the facts that would actually shed some light on the issue and actually show that what he's saying isn't necessarily true. For the fact is that he signed a contract that said he would sign another contract at the end of this year, end of this season. That's what the contract said. The contract didn't say two months to that time you're going to sign another one. That's not what the contract said. The contract said, I'm going to sign a contract that keeps me here until the summer of 2023. That's what he signed. And now what he said is, let this season play out, and then let's have that not have that as a distraction. We'll see what we do in the summer. Conte wants to show the board what he can do because, like any person who's in a job, you want to see whether you can actually increase your money. Because what he's going to do is he takes a team. He went to Champions League last season, phenomenal. If he can do it again, Champions League, then he can actually ask for $1 million more. You know, so I don't think it's a distraction. I think the players love him. I think they play for him. The media thinks it's a distraction because that's what they want. They want to cause rancor. And you go out there and then you start seeing clickbait out there saying, "Oh, that Kane's going. Oh, Kane's not going. Oh, Conte's going. Oh, Conte's not going." You know, so people should just buy some popcorn and watch the football and forget about all these things about distraction this and distraction that. That's all. That's for the birds.
Keep your comments coming in. True, what I'm going to say is Harry Kane is one player that will take a milestone to replace if he moves on. So if he moves, right? So I'm overly happy he has decided to extend his contract. He has my flowers as usual. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Right. So yeah, that's true one African for you. Yeah. Monica is asking, has he extended his contract? Well,
no.
Is England and Spurs legend. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we can't even say enough about Harry Kane, you know. Absolutely fantastic. You know, yeah. So he hasn't signed a new contract. I mean, the press reports say that he's indicated interest in signing a new one. I'm pretty sure that the club will offer him a new one, and because I think from summer he'll have 18 months left on his contract, so it'll be a good time to discuss a new contract. And I'm pretty sure that there will be no hesitation in giving him one big last payoff, and he deserves every penny, if you ask me. You know, because he's been absolutely superb for Tottenham. He's been top notch, a faithful servant, and yes, very for us.
One of our own.
Now, someone said to me, now this will come as a surprise to a lot of people, but someone said to me, but for Harry's goal, the man of the match should have been Emerson Royal. What a turnaround, eh? I mean, come on, do you agree with that?
Oh, I do. He had a. I mean, there were some people in our forum that were actually, you know, they were actually saying they're daring to say it after all the stick they're giving him. I think Emerson Royal is our new Sissoko. I think in the future, probably come next season, people are going to be singing Royal's name, because he's. Can we
also say this?
Yeah, we can see your Harry Cup.
My Hurricane cup. All right, I'm having my Hurricane cup of tea, a cup of coffee. Please continue. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think that he will become the new Sissoko, and people will warm to him. You know, it takes. People don't realize that other players actually feel that Tottenham is a big club, and they don't want to leave. And if they come here and they don't play well, they understand. They're not machines. They understand if they're not playing well. They understand when fans get on their back. So the only thing they can do, we heard all the stuff that was happening behind the scenes. He was sleeping in an oxygen tank, all sorts of different things he was doing to try and better his game. And I think he has improved remarkably. He scored a goal last match, and then today, man of the match performance. I think we've got to give it up to Conte and Emerson for sticking by each other. I think Conte saw a big player in Emerson, because I believe you me. Remember when Doherty used to defend? He used to get beaten hands down. Okay, he was good going forward, but he was rubbish at the back. And I think Tottenham's problem is not going forward; it's at the back. But people don't realize that. You see, we score so many goals, but the back just ships so many goals. So why would you stick Doherty in the back there just to go missing, get turned over so many times? You know, I mean, it's bad enough we got Perisic on the other wing that gets turned over once in a while, but to have Doherty on that side as well, I don't think it makes any sense. So I believe in Conte. They brought him for a reason. People can try and diss him and say Conte's finished, Conte plays fossil football, blah 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 blah. But when the chips are down, he's my man. You saw the passion he showed at the end of the match. I don't know whether you saw it, but he was like, he was cheering, that his team had freaking won. That's a man with passion. Considering the fact he's lost 3 people close to him, but that was passion for football.
I mean, thank you so much, Omonikai, asking people asking folks to like and subscribe. Thank you so much. I mean, listen, AF says interesting point from you, Ben, but he or she respectfully disagrees, right? Because he or she believes that if Conte really believes in the Spurs project long term, he wouldn't wait to the end of season before committing to a long term deal. Now that's a perspective. What do you reckon?
Well, I mentioned it previously. I said he signed a contract that ends in the summer. Whether or not he's actually said so. So what? I don't know why that person is saying that if Conte did that. Conte said he's here for the long term. It's what he said. The contract is not the thing that's going to be the thing that will make him not stay. That's the way he behaves. He wants to finish the season and show the club what he can do. He did it last season, Champions League. If he does it this season and we end up in Champions League, which I think we will, then he's got a stronger hand to say to the club, new contract is going to be X plus Y. At the moment, if he signs a contract now, people are just clowning, making noise. I bet you this: if he signs a contract now, people are going to say it's not worth it. Why are they giving the contract now? I respect the person who said this. I respect you. That's your point of view, and it could be right. I mean, I'm not a god. I don't know, but I believe personally that he has shown a passion for the project. If people don't believe in him, that's what people have to do. Believe in him. If you believe him, he said he's staying, right? He hasn't signed a contract. Doesn't mean he's not staying. It just means he hasn't signed a contract. That's all it is. So, I know you probably need reassurance, but I can assure you that if things go according to plan, he gets given the money, the backing that he needs. Because remember, he wasn't his twit. He saw what happened to Poch. Poch didn't get backed. He's not going to go 2 seasons without windows. Jesus Christ, he's not going to do that. So there's no point in him signing a contract when things that were supposed to be promised to him have not actually landed. So believe me, he will sign a contract if everything is brought into play.
Keep your comments coming in. This is ComeonyespursTV. We are live on YouTube, on Facebook, and your comments are being shown live. Thank you so much. Putting pen to paper now will be a strong statement of intent and give him a stronger hand to make major changes that we need to truly challenge. The Gunners are running away with the league.
Forget that. Just forget all that. The Gunners, they had a 3-year project. Their project has now come to fruition. People should forget that. And you know what they say when they talk about stuff to people? They say, look, put your blinkers on, head down, get on with your own job. Don't be looking at someone else's plate. They're not eating the same meal as you are. Everybody could talk breakfast, as they say, but they're not eating the same breakfast as us. We're still on breakfast and they're on supper. So leave that alone. Leave the Gunners alone.
Is this when we go at the end of the season and we go last? Now everybody go chop breakfast.
Yes, Arsenal never chop their breakfast yet. Wait, you see Liverpool and Chelsea, they chop breakfast since. You see where they that their breakfast they long go.
Okay. Let's see. So last, everybody go chop breakfast.
You get the sound, play them a bit, make they hear.
Okay, right. So that sounds like yeah. I mean, people are in good spirits tonight. I think I said to someone earlier on, I mean, offline before we came live, and I said I didn't understand why there was so much negativity around the whole place, right? And I said, I think I mentioned this at the beginning when I said, look, if someone came up from outer space today and looked at our league position, they probably wonder why we're so negative, because we're not that far off from the leaders, right? And the fact that we're not even playing that well at all, but we still remain there or thereabouts. Now, is this a time when you might find a transition in change? Because if you think, I mean, on paper, and again I say this on paper, right? The next round of matches look quite winnable from a perspective of the game we're playing, the opponents, and I mean, if you want to look at form and record and stuff like that, you know, I think our next game, I think we have the FA Cup game away to Preston North End, and after that we play against City, and then after City, I think we're playing Leicester at home, or sorry, Leicester away, and then we have. So again,
we're gonna get 6 points against Leicester.
Well, this is it. So I mean, you think that again? I mean, we don't have a terrible record against City, even though they've been champions 4 times over the last 5 seasons, you know. But we seem to have a very decent record against them. Second?
Leicester? You say Leicester?
No, City. I'm talking about Man City because I mean, our next home match in the league is against City, and that's on the 5th of February on Sunday. So that's another tough one coming up for us, because they will try and keep pace with Arsenal at the top of the league, while we try and obviously get up the table as well. So it's quite interesting now. But I mean, we'll take one game at a time. But today's game, from our perspective, I would say good performance. If you want to do a bit of player rating, for instance, from our match, I mean, let's start with Lloris from the back, for instance, right? So Lloris hasn't had a good record up to now, you know, and for some would say that it may well be the fact that he didn't want him to totally lose confidence. That's why he maintained him in the team, and leaving him out would have sent a wrong message to him. So you know, so therein lies the conundrum, right? Do you keep the faith and hope that another clanger doesn't arise? But today, what I mean, how do you think? I mean, Mr. Lloris acquitted himself.
I think Lloris played very well. I mean, that ball he stopped dead on, right? It was smack on. I thought it was a goal. Yeah. He stopped it dead on. Now, there's a famous saying. This saying has been. I've always had this in my mind while I've been working, and lots of people I've worked with have always said the same thing. The only person who makes no mistakes is someone who doesn't do any work. Okay? So if you don't do anything, you will never make mistakes. So the more you play, the more you're going to make mistakes, right? So if they decide to wrap him in cotton wool and keep him away, yeah, his stats will go up. He won't make mistakes, but he's not playing, so you defeat the whole purpose. So to my mind, it was a good thing to get him to play. He's got his clanger out of the way. He's playing well again. His performance today was phenomenal. I don't know what out of 10. I don't know what to give him, but I must say that I was never worried for Lloris. That shows how good he was, because I didn't worry about him at all. I didn't even think about him being there. He was just a keeper. So that for me is a mark of a great performance by Hugo.
Well, captain. I guess that's the value of experience sometimes, because I mean, you'd find, you know, these things are always built on fine lines, aren't they? If you think about it, but fine margins, if you like. If Conte got it right, he's a genius, right? If he gets it wrong, he's a plonker, basically, you know. So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, Omonike says he agrees with you that the Rats will collapse in the second half of the season. You know, let's hope so for our sakes. You know, and Trueborn African says I will not completely say Lloris is no good overnight, right? For what he has done for us, but I think he needs stiff competition too. I think that's a fair comment. I mean, if you ask me, because I mean, one of our panelists in the past, Chuma, is famous for saying that, look, most players, or I mean, players in every position, they need competition, not a deputy. And according to him, he thinks that Lloris needs somebody who can actually compete with him for a place in the team. Is that a point of view you share, Ben?
Yeah, I share his point of view. But what we have to remember as well, because a lot of people seem to forget, and some people say we're getting in a time machine and we should go back to black and white TV and all that rubbish. But we know where we came from. We can't forget where we came from. And where we came from is a million miles from where we are now. I mean, we challenged. We were second in the league to Chelsea. Remember that season under Poch? Second in the league. Now, if you go back 10, 15 years, if someone suggested they would be second, you'd be laughing at them and tell them to stop smoking. You tell them to stop smoking. But we've come a long way. And I think, as with most things, sometimes teams, they grow too fast. They grow very fast. They overachieve. They punch above their weight. But then, because the team is made of players, once you lose those players, things sort of change. So I think the way we came up with Poch and all those players he had, when you think about the players he had at the beginning when he came in, I don't even want to call the names because it's shameful. The only player that he had that was of note was Kane, but the rest of the players, they're no longer in the club, and quite rightly so, they're no longer in the club. But when he left, the players we had were a team that gelled together, played for each other, cried together. But once you start losing a few players, things change. People have to adapt to the way each other plays, So I think that that we've come a long way. Like I said before, we've come a long way from where we were before, and it's a process. For me, it is a process. You win some, you lose some. I don't want to talk about those. I'm not going to. I'm going to use. I'm going to be polite. Those people down the road. For the past 3 years, I've got a brother, two brothers and a sister who support them to much to my chagrin. They support the scum down the road. And for the past 3 years, I've been having it in my ears. They've been screaming, abusing their manager, abusing their players, saying this, that, and everything. And it was music to my ears. I was loving it. So what we have to do is we shouldn't forget that a team does not, you can't just get a manager and suddenly bang, you have a team. Conte didn't come with defenders in his pocket. He came empty handed. He was given the team and he tried to better that team. He's trying to better the team, trying to bring in new guys, new troops. It's going to take time. So as long as people are aware of that and stop clamoring for, we want to win now, we want to win now. While we're building, other teams are building as well and they're going forward. So we have to understand that it's going to take us time. And when it does happen, everyone's going to be happy. I can understand people. Actually, to be fair, I understand why people are actually clamoring because football is about loving your team and wanting to win. But it's not about recognizing the fact that we're building. In fact, people make fun of the building fact and say, "Oh, what are you building for?" This, that, and everything else. So I understand where they're coming from. But the only thing I can say, if you don't want high blood pressure, calm down and just chill out and watch the team grow. That's what I can say.
Keep your comments coming in. This is ComeonyespursTV. We are live on Facebook. We are live on where we're live. We're live on YouTube as well. So yeah, we have with me here Ben. We are discussing the match between Tottenham and Fulham. Came away with 1-0 victory against the Fulham side riding high in the Premier League before now. Now, Fulham were 2 points behind us. They're like, what you might call, from the point of view of their position in the league and what they've done so far, they haven't been too bad at all. Their last home match was against Chelsea, and they won that match, and it wasn't a fluke. So I think our performance today it's not to be sniffed at in my view. I mean, is that a view you share?
Yeah, absolutely. I share that view totally because, as we all know, football is not maths.
Absolutely.
A team can come and beat you tomorrow, and the team that beat you yesterday will come and beat them. It's human. These are human beings. They're not robots. So if you get it right on the day, and the luck doesn't shine on the team, then you can win. And once you win, the whole narrative changes. I can imagine what the forum would have been like today. Our forum, if we'd lost or we'd drawn, they would have been tearing each other.
I didn't want to hazard a guess as to what it would be like if we'd lost that match today.
It would have been terrible. But still, people were able to say some negative stuff. Like, oh, we're not supposed to sit on a 1-0 lead. We're not supposed to sit on it. Yeah, whatever. We won. What more do you want, for Christ's sakes? So no, I'm like you said, we won this match. We have to move forward. We never know what's going to happen against City, because last season we beat City home and away. This season they're beating us, but they beat us because we were crap. You know, what did he say? What did Conte say? He said, I mean, one thing I noticed during the match against City was that we had so much more possession. First half, possession from us was great. Second half, what happened? I tell you what happened. Longley happened. Jesus Christ. Longley happened to us that match. Did you see what he did? He basically gave he gave the striker the ball with his tummy. And this is someone who came from Barcelona. Individual errors that no manager can be blamed for.
Yeah.
Dyer had one of his most dire matches of all, you know. So it was crazy. First half we were immaculate, and we could have gone in the second half, and I think what happened in the second half is the players thought we're going to win this, and they just sat back, you know. I saw what's his name today. Did you see what the flick that Royal did, Emerson?
Oh yeah.
He gave one flick.
Yeah, I mean that was absolutely fantastic. There was one combination with he and Kulusevski on the corner, and I think it was Højbjerg as well. You know, he had this passing sequence that just sort of was absolutely fantastic. I thought to myself, Emerson, oh wow, you know.
So all these things, they breed confidence. You do that when you have confidence. And I think
there was a passage of play in the match when I think he had a shot on goal, which on a good day he could have gone in, you know. And I mean, thankfully from their perspective, or you know, unfortunately from our perspective, it didn't go in because I mean Leno was a live stream, but I mean he had to sort of have a quick reaction to sort of put it away for a corner for us. But I mean, I think Emerson Royal played really, really well today, and those who may have criticized him in the past, I think they probably maybe take a different view. And I mean, you still get the negatives who will tell you that, okay, yes, he's played several matches. It's not a once in a while good performance like this, but he should be doing it consistently. But I felt that, in my view, he's probably been scapegoated for way too long, even for minor things that other players would have done in the same match or in different matches, and no one will say a word. But with his case, everyone's like, "Oh, Emerson is dire. Emerson is horrible. Emerson is that." I think today he proved his critics wrong, and yeah, long may it continue. Well done, Emerson.
Absolutely well done. Yeah, man of the match performance from it. And long may it continue. I think he's going to carry on. I think he's reached a point now where he's playing for his place. He's playing to stay. He actually said he doesn't want to go anywhere, and he's proving that by the way he's playing. And if he keeps playing this way, he'll work his way into fans' hearts. I feel for him. I love people who actually try. Remember this, that he was a defender. He was not a wing back. A defender who's learned to become a wing back. And boy, at least he hasn't given up on his defending duties. He's very good at his defending duties.
No. So here we go. As Amonika says, great analysis from you, Ben. Folks need to calm down is the key for all Spurs fans. You know, I mean, we've been saying this for quite a while on this platform. So look, ultimately, it's a game of 38 games. I'm sorry, it's 38 games a season. You know, for the league. You know, when they got the cup runs, we're still in the FA Cup. We're in the last 16 of the Champions League. Champions League resumes next month. You know. From I think the first Tuesday or second Tuesday in February, I think we're playing away to Milan, you know, and on paper we stand a very, very good chance of coming away with the results in that match if we play to our very best. And I think on our day, we can give any team a good game, and not just give them a good game, come away with a good result, So yeah, and it's just getting into that groove. Did you notice something about Kulusevski today? He had this almost languid, like he wasn't going to do any harm type thing, and he would just, create opportunities out of absolute nothing. I thought he was really good today, though, even though he was relatively quiet-ish, but he still was quite effective, So, I mean, I guess he's recovering from injury, so it's to be expected, But I thought, overall, I thought the whole team gave a good account of themselves. We looked at Lloris, and I know we did that, and then across the back, back three, we had Longley, we had David.
Yeah, we had David.
And then we had that, What did you think?
Yeah, defense was great. We had like you said, we had Kuti and Dyer and Davis. I didn't have any worries about them again because I didn't notice them, and that means I had a good game,
Yeah.
And the wing backs, Perisic had a goodish game. We all know about Emerson. He had a wonderful game, and then again, you notice now because Bentancourt's back, you see Højbjerg is getting a bit more forward because Bentancourt is so immaculate on the ball.
He's immaculate on the ball, isn't he? He's just a Rolls Royce player, isn't he?
Oh God! In tight places, he gets the ball and he distributes the ball. He lets people come to him and then gets rid of the ball, and everyone's tied up with trying to get hold of Bentancourt, but the ball's gone. Here you see it, now you don't. So I think the back four and Bentancourt back in position again with Højbjerg gave us some stability, and I think this is why Conte made an unchanged team because that team went 2-0 up in the first half. Remember that?
Yeah.
2-0 up, and it was because of Longley. So, okay, when you say unchanged, Longley wasn't there, so there was a change there because Longley was just rubbish. He just gave the ball to. Okay, now what am I talking about? We had City, and then we had Arsenal, didn't we? Or was it the other way around?
No, the other way around. We had Arsenal first and then City. I mean, Longley didn't play the City match. So he didn't play the Arsenal match, I think.
That's right. So it was Longley, I think, was changed out for Davis, but the back five were phenomenal. And then moving into like I said, Bentancourt and Højbjerg, very good, very very good. Sonny, people say, "Oh, Sonny shouldn't be playing." Sonny was the one who assisted Kane. It was a pass from Sonny.
I mean,
went to Kane.
Missed that point. I mean, the Sonny Kane combination coming to the fore again, Even though Kane still had a bit of work to do, and he did it absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I thought that goal was absolutely world class. I mean, from where he was, it didn't. There was no way he could have scored from where he was. I mean, on paper, but he just took it perfect. I was screaming my head off here when that goal went in. I thought, yes, Mr. Kane, record breaker.
The way he lost Ream, the defender, because the defender was just behind him, so he touched the ball up with his left peg and went around him. The guy didn't know what happened,
and then the guy was in the corner. I actually thought there was a deflection on the first glance. And when I saw the replay, I saw there was absolutely, he didn't touch anyone. He went straight in. Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
That's Kane's bread and butter. He didn't waste time; just tucked it away. Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, Fulham seemed to be on top in the first half, and even though they put in quite a few crosses, I think we had one or two dangerous situations where they had headed over, and I think there's one when Diop and what's that guy's name who got a yellow card almost got sent off, Palinia. Got each other's way and the ball went over. I thought they had a very good chance of scoring there. But if you notice in the second half, right, we just didn't give them any opportunity to get balls into the box. We got tighter,
exactly
to them and made sure that we pressed them high and ensure that I mean, you couldn't play any long balls into the box. And second half, Lloris had absolutely nothing to do, you know,
Yep.
absolutely nothing to do. So it was such a comfortable 1-0 victory. I mean, from the point of view of watching it from live, I mean, okay, probably you have butterflies and thinking, oh, anything will happen, you know. But if you sort of took a back seat and view and said, hang on, let's see what this game looks like. I just thought we had very, very good control in the second half. We weren't defending as such, but we were just sort of had good control of the game. If we needed to press, we'll pick up the ball and press. If we needed to sort of stand up, then we stood up if we needed to. Just had very, very good game management. And some people will say, okay, maybe go and score other goals, but you didn't want to leave yourself exposed because you were trying to go for other goals. So I thought it was good game management. And he brought on Bissouma for Son.
Kulu.
No, for
Kulu. Yeah.
No, for Son. No, Son.
Richarlison came on for Son, and the Bissouma came on for.
Oh yes, exactly. Yeah. So that was for me. That was a good move to show up that midfield and give us and change to 3-5-2. You know, that sort of made life difficult for Fulham. And people will tell you that Don Conte is inflexible, doesn't change games, he doesn't make changes to reflect what's happened in the game. For me, that just shows you. I mean, you don't get paid 15 million quid for nothing, you know.
Agreed.
You know, I think yes. I mean, I leave those sort of decisions, team selection, and things for him. I don't question him. Well, I guess I'm allowed to question him because I'm a fan, but in terms of knowledge of the game, he's been at it forever. We're just fans who don't go to trainings, and we just sort of mouth off and pass comments. But hey, that's what this is for. I mean, if you're here for the first time, this is Come On You Spurs TV. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Follow the conversation. Thank you so much for all of those who've joined the conversation tonight. It's been great fun having you, True Born African, Omonike, and TA. Thank you, AF. Thank you so much. All of you have been absolutely fantastic. We're looking forward to the next game away to Preston North End on Sunday the 28th. Now, that for me, again, on paper, it looks like we stand a very good chance. But you and I know that I'm upset it's not far away in the FA Cup. But if we put up a good game, I think we stand a very, very good chance of going through to the next round in that game. But yes, for me, pleasing result tonight. No complaints whatsoever. Final word from you, Ben.
Yeah, I'd like to, just as you've done, thank all the guys that joined us, because they're what makes this program work. You were talking earlier about we just sit there and chat, but hey, without chatting, we wouldn't have this either. So this is a good forum for everybody to come and chat.
Absolutely.
You know, put your points across. You know, put them across and banter the whole thing, because we learn new things every day. None of us knows everything, but no, it's been an enjoyable evening. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Now I can go and have a glass of sherry and relax, knowing that we've got 3 points in the bag. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Thank you so much, Ben, and God bless you. And we look forward to see you again on Sunday after the match against Preston North End. In the meantime, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.